So the digital SAT blueprint is basically an approach to teach the digital SAT and SAT in general. And it's basically based on skill building approach. So before we start, I'd like to tell you more about me. So this is Abdullah Majdi. I have a bachelor's degree in teaching English. I have a master's degree in teaching literature. I'm also a Cambridge certified teacher and educational leader. I have 11 years of teaching experience, specializing in teaching English and SAT preparation. I'm a certified IELTS, IDP IELTS trainer at IDP Jeddah, and also I'm author the SAT Solution 800 and Digital SAT Blueprint. I would like to welcome you all here today. Um, for me, and as part of the learning and teaching literature, learning is basically a process of skill building. We are building skills. Anything other than skill building is not actually considered as learning. So the approaches to tackling the SAT now are all based on dealing with the students as if they were spectators in a stadium. So the teacher is answering the questions and the students are watching, cheering, and that's it. There's no clear uh, milestones, there's no clear path to success. In the blueprint approach or the digital SAT blueprint approach that we're dealing with, we have four revealed domains by the College Board that we all know: information and ideas, craft and structure, standard English convention, and finally expression of ideas. So the four domains are all those are the four umbrella domains, and they are all having like sub skills under them. So by analyzing and back engineering the tests, we found the sub skills that should be taught and should be go through the skill building process so learning can happen. So for example, under the first domain, we have text main ideas, comprehension questions, command of evidence textual, command of evidence quantitative, and this is gonna be today's lesson, inshallah. We'll have a demo lesson together on command of evidence quantitative or using graphs as quantitative evidence, and finally inference. Domain 2 had these sub skills, domain 3 has these sub skills, and finally domain 4 had these sub skills. So what's the point of learning about these domains? Why should I learn about these domains? Why should I know about these domains? Simply, if you've taken the test before, your report will be like that. So 4 domains, and under each domain, you have a set of blocks. So imagine that you've taken the test before and this is your weakest domain. By the way, this is a real report from a student. So that's your weakest domain. So all what you need to do is to prioritize this domain first, then go through that domain and work on these 2 domains equally. How do we help you with that? Because simply we start with pre-testing, use the pre-testing tool that we have in the book or the course, then study by prioritizing the skills or the domains that you need to excel, and finally assess your success. Our pre-test has the scoring guide. So for example, the first question is from the second domain. So if you're done with the first question and the first question is correct, so simply mark it as correct. If the first question is wrong, or if the second question is wrong, so mark it as wrong, and so on. Now, by the end, you know that you have a skill problem in these points. So you need to prioritize these points. You need to work on these points first. Okay? And so on and so forth. And finally, you can translate your mark, your raw score, to a band score. In the book, and after each skill, we have SAT-based exercises. So what's the job of the SAT-based exercises? They are SAT-based exercises, not SAT exercises, which means that we worked on creating these exercises from A to Z in order not to spoil the College Board question banks or the College Board questions that you need to work on as real questions. Okay? So our exercises are very, very similar to the College Board questions in terms of language level, hardship. So whether we have easy, medium, hard questions, but all of them are not College Board exercises. Okay. So to hit the ground, you don't need more than 900 questions in the book and in the course, in our foundational course. Each lesson has a large number of questions. So for example, in the first domain, we have like for only commas, boundaries. This is part of the fourth domain, of the third domain. Under only boundaries, we have like 75 questions. And some of the students among you guys, alhamdulillah, have already finalized these questions and they got very good scores. Each lesson has these questions after. And finally, we have the comprehensive answer key. Our answer key is even different from the College Board answer key because it's not only an answer key that gives you explanation. It's an answer key that tells you that which skill is being assessed for this question and which domain. Already you know the domain because you are under the domain while studying, but maybe you miss or you lose track of the skill. So the answer key itself is a state of art. It's something that helps you very much in keeping track of your progress and in knowing what to focus on, what to highlight, and so on. Now let's take a tour on the book. Inshallah, you're going to have you will have access to the book for a week. Everybody who attended today is going to have access um, uh, for a week to the ebook, our digital ebook, inshallah. So basically, the book has a pre-test. Yeah, yes. Do you have any questions before we go through the book? Any questions? It's Ahmed.
Teacher, I wanted to ask, how will the book structure be online?
The book structure be online, you mean?
As in like the online websites, how will it be?
Okay. So this is the ebook, you mean? Okay, so this is the ebook. We have a partnership with Kutubi. Kutubi is an online publishing company. We have a partnership with them, and I'm going to send you the credentials to log in. And I'll also send you this link, sabblueprint.katubi.com. And you will log in with your email and password. I'll send you the password once um, I give you the access, then you can access the book like that. So here you have the interactive content. Just click to anywhere you want to go. And you'll be directed easily. There's one good thing about that, which is annotations, the annotation system. So you can annotate, you can study. So imagine that you're using, and I highly recommend that use this from a touch screen, like iPad or Samsung tablet, whatever, and you can annotate, you can highlight, and finally, your annotations and highlights and answers are also saved. Do you have any other questions? Okay, is that clear, Ahmed?
Nope, very clear, teacher.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
very clear, teacher.
Yeah, thank you. So as you see here, we have the pre-test, and I highly recommend that we start with the pre-test. If you're going to study from the book, start with the pre-test, and after that, give yourself a chance to know the skills that you need to assess and you need to excel. And the pretest, and there's also another post-test. The pretest is covering all the domains that you need to excel. Okay. After that, we have chapter by chapter, and every chapter, as you see here, has SAT-based exercises. So if we go, these are the questions on the first chapter, which is concession, and all the questions are on that skill only. After that, we have the answer key. The answer key is not only giving you the answer, as we said before, it also gives you some sort of the sub skill that you need to get back. So imagine that you made a mistake here, so you need to get back to that point and study it. Same in boundaries and mechanics. You have explanation, then in explanation questions, and after that we have explanation to the questions that are within the chapter. We have in-chapter questions and post-chapter questions. And finally, we have the SAT-based exercises on mechanics. For example, this chapter has like over 70-something questions, 72 questions, 73 questions. Okay. And at the end, you have the answer key with the sub skills. This is how the book's structured throughout. So the whole book is based on in-chapter explanation, in-chapter questions, and also the live course is going to go through the same structure, inshallah. Okay. Do you have any other questions, guys, before we proceed? So if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Thank you. Okay, so another product that we offer at SAP Blueprint is the Skill Building Live course. This live course is going to be via Zoom. A 30 hours course covering all the sub skills under each domain. There's a certificate of completion after you're done from our website, Digital SAT Blueprint. I'll also send you an email. You will receive an email from our support team with all the links that we've mentioned during this orientation session. And you will have access to all the sessions through an online course on our website. So the sessions won't be shared with you in Google Classroom like videos and so on. No, they will be organized in an online pre-recorded course on our website, so you can go through all sessions seamlessly, inshallah. There will be a free access to the book for a year. This is also included in the package of the Skill Building Live course. There's also special launch offer that you will receive via mail, plus 10% discount for everybody who attended today's session, inshallah. One of the other products is the pre-recorded courses, very, very similar to that of Udemy, Coursera, if you've taken any courses at these platforms before. But this is coming soon. Now, before we start with our demo lesson today on on quantitative evidence, command of evidence, graphs as quantitative evidence. Do you have any questions? I'm happy to answer your questions. Any questions before we go on? Okay, Ahmed.
It's not really a question, it's just that I have to leave. I wanted to يعني, give my own opinion about Mr. Abdullah's book and the work he's been putting on this book. Personally, I started my journey with the SAT maybe grade 9, actually piloting Mr. Abdullah's book. Oh, ever since then, يعني, I've been able to like get very high scores in the English parts of the SAT. The first time I actually did the SAT, I got a 640 in the English. Alhamdulillah, last November or this November SAT, I got a 750. يعني كان لولا الله ثم Mr. Abdullah's guidance وhis book which was extremely helpful صراحة. يعني I promise you guys, if you guys actually study the book completely from A to Z, يعني a 750 plus is مرة guaranteed for all of you guys. Not only that, now that Mr. Abdullah has made شو اسمه the online version, والله يعني تطويرات رهيبة صراحة. يعني I very much يعني would recommend the book to anyone or the online course to anyone. Mr. Abdullah يعني is very capable of teaching you and guiding you to the 800 إن شاء الله.
Thank you,
بس
Ahmed.
يعطيكم العافية.
Thank
نشوفكم
you,
بكرة.
Habibi. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you. Okay, guys, so now let's start our lesson, our demo lesson today. Why did I choose command of evidence as a demo lesson? Because there is an already online course, online video on YouTube. Inshallah, I'm going to share it with you on my channel. That's on command of evidence. There I explain commas, semicolons, and so on. So that's why I just wanted to change so you can have the chance to take a look at part from English language convention part and command of evidence, graphs as quantitative evidence. So if you feel like this skill or this question type, the question that tells you which choice best describes data from the graph that weakens or strengthens the team's hypothesis or the team's claim. If you think that this is a hard question, please raise your hand. Guys, you need to interact. If you think that this question
I want to raise my hand,
is a
but I
challenging
can't.
question, please raise your hand. Yes?
I was trying to raise my hand, but I don't know how.
Okay. There's an option, but okay. So you think it's a challenging question?
Yeah,
Yes. What's the most challenging part here?
like I'm not really good with graphs and stuff, so it's like kind of confusing for me.
Okay, thank you. So the point here, guys, is we need to understand the relationship between the graph, the text, and the question. Okay, so we have 3 parts here, and the last part we need to take a look on is the choices. The choices are not important at all. This is not, it shouldn't be your starting point. So at the beginning, I need to read the question and understand the question. So the question here says, which choice best describes data from the graph that weakens the team's hypothesis? So basically, in that question type, there's no relationship between the text and the graph. The graph here works as outside data to support or weaken something. For example, if somebody tells you that fasting Ramadan is a must for all Muslims, so this is a claim, right? Now we want to support this claim with textual evidence, with something from Quran. So you will go to Quran and get something from Quran to support this claim. Very, very, very similar here. I have a claim here, and I want to support that claim from the graph. This is the point. Now, my first step is to look at the claim, is to find the claim. It's to find the claim. Now, I'll give you 10 seconds. Try to find the claim, please. Okay, go on, please.
I think it's
I muted you by mistake. I'm sorry. Yes, go on.
I think it's on the second line where they say a team of political scientists hypothesized that municipalities are much more likely to respond to firms and offer incentives if expansions can be announced in time to benefit local officials than if they can.
Exactly. Thank you. So the claim here says basically that municipalities are going to respond if and offer incentives if elections are near, right? So now let's get back to the graph and understand the graph. Let's understand the graph. What's in the graph? The graph says that we have response to inquiry. So the relationship that I need to, this is a claim, and I need to clarify this claim from the graph. So the graph says that I have here response to inquiry. So the response before election and response rate after election. So no response before election and after election, so it's the same. Responded to inquiry before elections, 205, and after elections, 200. Offered incentives even more than before elections, 120, and after elections, it's 110. So do we see any significant difference between the numbers before elections and after elections? Is there any significant difference?
Yes, it's
Actually,
always
no.
higher.
Yeah, exactly. So 205 is nearly equal to 200. 120 is nearly equal to 110, right? So the hypothesis here, the claim here said they are much more likely to respond to firm. They are much more likely to respond to firm and offer incentives if the expansions can be announced in a time to benefit the local elected officials. So before election. So I should see response rate before elections more than the response rate after elections, right? However, the graph tells us that this is not true, right? The third step here is to go to the choices. Read the choices and find something that says that the answers before and after elections were equal. Okay, guys, you can send that the answer via the chat. It's okay. Yes, exactly. It is B. Thank you. Thank you. So in B, the proportion of municipalities that responded to the inquiry or offered incentives didn't substantially differ across the announcement timing conditions. So announcement timing is before and after, it's almost the same. There was no significant difference. Exactly, yes, it is true. So here in the book, while inshallah you will get access for a week to the book, in the book you will have detailed explanation to the question and how we reached this answer. Again, in that question type, we're going to deal with that question now. In that question type, we have three parts. The first part is the claim, the question. We start with the question, the claim, and after that, finally, we have the graph. The graph is an outsider. There is no clear relationship between the graph and the claim. The graph is raw data. The claim is something that can be supported or weakened by this outside data. Now, you have 10 seconds. Please find the claim here. Okay, go on.
I think it's in the first line where it says a student asserts that increased traffic congestion in the 1990s in the United States was present both in very large cities, such as New York City. I don't think this information is necessary, like the specific city, and smaller areas such as Allentown.
Exactly. Thank you. So now I want something that supports the claim. So I need to, now I know the claim and I want to support this claim. So in 1990, 1992, 1994, and this is New York, Texas, Allenton. So if we see that New York, yes, it's the trend is going up. It's an upward trend. In Beaumont, Texas, also the trend is an upward trend. And in Allenton, very, very similar. So it's an upward trend in all cities, right? And the claim said that also, though those smaller areas may have been less affected by traffic congestion, but than very large cities, this congestion also worsened in them over time. And this is clear in Beaumont, Texas, and in Allenton, Pennsylvania. They are still less than New York, but they're still less than New York, but they are still suffering from traffic congestion. So now find the answer, please. The final thing to look at is the choices. The final thing to look at is the answer. You need to understand the claim, understand the graph that you have, and finally look at the answers. So you can send the answers by the chat. Okay, thank you. It is A. While the number of hours of traffic delay per commuter per year was always lower in Allenton, Pennsylvania than in New York, each year between 1990 and 2000, the amount of traffic delay rose in both areas during this period. Okay, I'm not going to, there wasn't significant difference. But... Yes, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Now there's another question here. Okay. You can zoom in from your screens. I'll give you a minute to answer this question alone. Start with the question, find the claim, then match the claim and the graph. Go on, please. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. It is A. Again, we start by the question, which choice describes data that supports? And please, please, guys, it's not always supports. Sometimes it's weakens. Okay? So it's very, very important to know whether I'm searching for something that supports or weakens. Okay? So that supports the researcher's proposal. I need to find that proposal. What's the proposal here? The proposal is, who can help us? Yes, okay, go on.
I think in this case, it's in the end. It says we propose that gift recipients will be less inclined to base their feelings of appreciation on the price of a gift than the givers assume.
Exactly, thank you. So in simple words, gift recipients are not going to look at the price, So those are givers. This is what they think if it's cheap. This is what they think if it's expensive. And for recipients, it's almost the same. Okay. So that's why A is the correct answer. Now let's answer this question. So sometimes you're given something like that, a question with underlined claim. So the claim here is underlined, which is good. I don't have to search for the claim. I don't have to read everything. And you're being asked to support or weaken or refute, sometimes to refute the claim itself. Okay, now I'll give you a minute. Try to answer this question, please. Exactly, it is D. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, why do you think that it's D? The answer is D. Thank you. Yes, why do you think that it's D?
Because it does not, it says that the water does not break the surface of the water, the waves.
Exactly. So everything is going under the level of
Yes.
0. Exactly. Thank you, Abdurrahman. Now, let's go for number 2. The second question, then there's a College Board question here. Thank you, Abdullah. Thank you, Jawan. Okay, Abdullah, why do you think that it's C? Abdullah, do you hear me? Unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me now, teacher?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, because to support the claim being with different data transfer rates can nonetheless have similar efficiency, thus transmitting information nearly as effectively. And then
Exactly.
when you look at LTE and Wi-Fi, they have different transfer rates, but almost the same amount of efficiency.
Exactly. So, and when we say almost the same, we don't have to have like two identical numbers. We don't have to have two identical numbers. Okay. So, two numbers that are very close is enough. Okay. Now let's move to, there's a College Board question here. This is from the College Board question bank. So now you can, okay, try to answer the question, please. You have a minute. Thank you. Yes, it is D. Thank you, guys. So if we look here, we will have that the conclusion is the dam changed the flow of the river in ways that benefited grass plants but didn't benefit trees. So this is what we need to focus on. This is what we need to focus on. And we need to support this. So now grass cover, bare soil, forest cover. Forest cover means trees. So I don't have to find the word trees. I don't have to find a clear word saying trees, but forest cover is trees. Okay, grass cover is in that color. So when we go here, so before the dam, this was the grass cover. After the dam, this is the grass cover. Before the dam, this was the trees cover. After the dam, this is the trees cover. So the dam benefited the grass cover. And the correct answer is D. Grass covered increased, and whereas forest cover decreased. Thank you. Okay, before we go on, do you have any questions? Okay, guys, thank you. Okay, so everybody is attending today. Okay, thank you. Everybody who's attending today, have you all guys registered in the form that I've sent earlier? So all your emails are in that form. Yeah. So would you please? Okay. So would you please, if your email is not there, would you please type your email in the chat so I can give you the access to the book for a week? Okay, so please type your email in the chat so I can give you access to the book for a week, inshallah. Okay, thank you. So anybody else? Okay, Farwa. Layla. Jana. Okay, Abdurrahman, yes, because the book is allowed only to be opened in one device, but I reset your devices, so please open it from your iPad. It's okay. The book is only allowed to be opened from one device. So please, guys, make sure that you're going to use it from so if you're going to use it from your iPad, just open from your iPad. If you're going to be because I just want to limit piracy and illegal use of the book. Thank you very much for that. Please, if you have any questions, if you have any insights to tell me about, if you have any ideas, please, I'm here to listen. Okay, guys, thank you very much for that. See you inshallah, and I'm going to share this session with you, and I'm going to send you an email of everything that we've worked on today. Thank you. See you inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.